Hello my lovelies, and welcome back to Sundering Tarot. If you're new here, hi, hello, and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me. This is your new moon in Libra reading. This is for the 13th, 14th, and 15th of October. Yes, this is a new moon, but it's also a solar eclipse. And if all goes as planned, I will be also doing a pick a card for the solar eclipse portion because the energy does last 6 months, and I will post that at a later point in time. But for just the 3 days of the new moon, this is your reading. We're using Inside Editions, Jim Henson's The Dark Crystal Tarot, which yes is a pip deck. As you can see, it's our main deck we're using for our Celtic Cross, and we're using Enchanted Map by baron-reid. I've also been instructed by my ancestors not to take reversals from the Enchanted Map. So if something comes out in the reverse, you see me flip it upright, that is why. I will not be taking reversals from our oracle deck we're using to clarify. Now, I could babble on about all the astrology, etc., but we're just going to go ahead, we're going to jump right in here and get started. And if you have questions on the new moon in Libra placements or the astrological effects of a solar eclipse, you can, research that on your own time or ask questions in the comment section down below. I will also list the decks we are using in the description box down below. Feel free to expand that if you need it. Alright, my lovelies, we're going to go ahead and jump right in here to the heart of the matter. We have the 8 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, we have the Ace of Swords in the reverse, and the 2 of Swords in the reverse. And yes, the suits are renamed, but I will give them in the traditional suit name. That way you know what you're looking at if you are not familiar with this particular deck. Okay. So this new moon, we realize certain things, yes, have to go. And we're looking at those. We're accessing those things. And we know we have to make a choice. We really know we need to pick and choose what stays, what goes. However, we are uncertain about what that needs to be. So we're questioning the hows, whys, and maybe even what is real and what is not. So what is fact, what is fiction, what is illusion, what is definitely grounded in reality that I need to be keeping. And because we're so uncertain, we're unclear about certain aspects, it's going to make it difficult to make a choice. But we do eventually make a choice. Remember, now that I said that, please bear in mind that choosing not to make a choice is still a choice. So some of you may opt not to change anything, not to move forward, not to work on anything. And yes, that is a choice. So we're going to see what else comes out. But for the overall energy of the collective, the heart of the matter here, what do you got for me? We have the Bone Collector, Stormfield, Slow and Steady, Goblins. There you go. There you go. Literally making a choice. And we have a Spark. Yes, you have all the things you need available to you. It's just whether or not you're going through the muckety-muck, all that uncertainty, all the distractions, to slowly realize what's real, what's not, what's fake, what's your ego at play, what is outside factors, what is fact, what is fiction, to make the choice that will benefit you, to create the life that you want, to get the happier result that you want, to improve your situation, your circumstances, the way you wish them to be. All that information is there. It's just, like I said, you have to go through the muckety-muck first. And we'll probably see that maybe once or twice throughout this reading. I wouldn't be surprised. But yes, you have to make a choice. But choosing not to choose is still a choice. I have to say it. lovelies. We're going to go ahead and we're going to jump into the recent past, see what it has to tell us. We have the Six of Cups, the Five of Cups, followed by the Four of Cups, the Empress, the King of Wands, the Six of Wands, followed by the Seven of Wands, with the Eight of Wands, the Queen of Cups, and the Knight of Wands. Yeah. So you've probably been dealing with things for quite a while. But here, probably maybe a week or so prior to the new moon in Libra, you've been thinking about things. How much you want them better, how much you desire for better. And you might be thinking about different ways that maybe you could get a handle on certain situations. Things that, you know, are not on the up and up. One of those, how do I make them better? How do I make them work for me? What areas can I really make headway that I can persist in and turn things around to make things more fulfilling, to make sure that I can enjoy myself, to make sure that my efforts aren't wasted, to make sure that my life isn't just the humdrum, mundane thing. Instead, it's worth living, it's enjoyable, it's creative, and it gives back to me in such a way that makes me want to live or do things or have the capabilities to be able to do things. So if you're having money issues, maybe you're looking at finances and where things are going wrong, and you're trying to find ways to either micromanage your money or ideas where maybe you can create new revenue. That way, when you spend money, you're not having to worry so much about overtaxing yourself. You can enjoy yourself without beating yourself up later. You don't have to worry that your bank account's going to go into the negative. Instead, you're able to move, do the enjoyable things you want, just as an example. And yes, this is a general reading for the collective. It's not a one-to-one reading, so please take what resonates, leave the rest. Spirit, what do you have to add for the recent past? We have Peaks of Joy. Nope. Remember, I am not taking reversals from the Enchanted Map. Yeah, so as much as you've been thinking hard about how to turn negatives into positives, how to turn your circumstances around to be able to better facilitate a more conducive lifestyle, or just to navigate circumstances as they are. You're seeking happiness, very much so. A way to, yes, be able to express yourself creatively, enjoy your life, but also nurture yourself at the same time. You want it all. You desire it all. It's just the tapping into those answers. They've been a little slow in coming, but it is there. It's just waiting to be revealed. So most of you, it sounds like, are not totally clued in onto the answer that you're seeking of how to work this for yourself. You know what you want, you know what your desire. It's just getting all the pieces identified of what stays, what goes, and how to move forward for the desired outcome. Which makes sense, considering this is the recent past. So we were motivated to at least apprise ourselves of our current situation, our current circumstances. How long we remain uncertain, unclear before we actually make a choice is going to vary from person to person. All right, we're going to keep on moving on. We're going to jump right into the highest we can achieve. And we have the 10 of Wands with the 9 of Wands, all in the reverse. Okay. So we're either letting go of things that burn us out, things that take way too much energy without a payoff, something that doesn't give back, something that steals our time, our energy, our money, especially our energy, things that drain us, because that is literally our body's currency, is our energy. At the same time, you might be letting go of certain boundaries. You might be dropping a guard, or realizing you've been dropping a guard simply because it doesn't serve where it's at anyway. So perhaps for some of you, you realize you have a couple toxic relationships and you just need to drop boundaries with somebody because you're dropping them, or a boundary is not going to solve your issue, so you're dropping that, and you might end up moving it someplace else or recreating it in some fashion, is what I'm getting, to start over. Alright, Spirit, anything else you want to add? Okay, I'm going to flip this over. We have intention, dry desert, and details. Details. Yes. You're going to have to focus on things that aren't on the up and up, that leave you wanting, and you're going to have to fine-tune those. Like I said, so some of you might actually be dropping your guard in an area, and that is not helping you. So you're going to have to make a choice on, okay, I've left myself vulnerable over here. What do I need to do about it? Others, like I said, you're moving a boundary, and you realize you're at a disadvantage for that. So where you redraw or move or recreate that boundary is going to take a lot of focus and concentration, so you get it in just the right spot. Because putting it in the wrong spot, again, is maybe a slight improvement. It could make it worse. And just remember that when you move a boundary, it may help you or it may harm you if it's in the wrong spot. So getting focused, getting concentrated on exactly where that needs to be, it takes some doing. And this doesn't necessarily have to be a boundary with somebody else. This could be a hard boundary that you are giving to yourself. One of those, I will not eat bad food. So you draw a boundary with yourself. You draw a line of what you're eating, what you're not, when you're eating, when you're not, when your cheat days are, whatever. And maybe something like that, you've dropped your guard and you're overeating or something to that effect. And now you're putting a hard boundary with yourself for your own betterment, because you know you're at a disadvantage if you operate the same way you've been. Just that is an example. So this could be anything, and it doesn't necessarily have to be with another person. This just could be you wasting your own time, wasting your own energy, and needing to reassert boundaries for yourself. Limiting time in front of the computer, time on social media, whatever this is or however it applies. It could be a wide variety of things. But yeah, it feels like you're trying not to waste time anymore. You're trying not to keep poor boundaries. You're not trying to carelessly throw away your own energy. Instead, you're trying to up it. Maybe so your overall health is better. You're able to give and take from others easily, because let's face it, you can't pour out of an empty cup. Alright, my lovelies, we're going to get into the lowest we can achieve during this new moon. We have the 8 of Pentacles, followed by the 10 of Pentacles, Judgment in reverse, the Emperor in the reverse, the Hierophant in the reverse, Lovers in the reverse, and the Magician in the reverse. Okay, you remember at the beginning when I said choosing not to make a choice is still a choice? Yeah, that's very much this energy. We're working towards happiness in the circumstances that we got. We're not actively changing anything. Not really. We're not making much of a choice. We didn't answer that call to shift something majorly. We didn't take the world by, the reins, make a definite choice, and learn a lesson or use what knowledge we had to create something better. No, we're staying in the status quo, the circumstances and things that we currently have, and trying to force them to be better. Trying to work with what we got, how they are, where they are for circumstances and situations, and hoping that it improves. Trying to work towards better. So that's a little bit, it seems more of a pushing a boulder uphill, more cost effective. I mean, it's still trying to get the same goal, but we're not making any major adjustments. We're not having a tower moment. We're not having major change. We're not being very proactive. We're just kind of fine-tuning the things of where we're currently sitting. It's not like we're making major adjustments for the better. So yes, I would definitely say this is choosing not to choose and trying to make it work with where we're at, with what we've got. And that's may not work out the greatest for you. I mean, if we're talking finances, for example, yes, we can rebudget what we've got, which might help, but if we're not creating sources of income or anything like that, or cutting expenses, we're not going to see definite major change. We're just dealing with the same situation over and over and hoping that we can tweak it minutely enough for betterment rather than making a big shift. And let's face it, money does not fall from trees. So, for the lowest we can achieve, Spirit, what else do you have to say about this? Whoa! And that almost went right off the table. We have encouragement, spirit of place, come together, and storm fields. Yeah. Okay, there's hoping and praying for something to work, to appear, to manifest, simply because you desire it, you want it, and you visualize that. But if you don't put work in, the universe can't meet you halfway on it. So visualization, laws of attraction, is really good, yes. Wishing and hoping and desiring for better, yes. But if you want something like that to come together, you have to put in energy. And we're not making big choices, nothing like that. So things are filled with obstacles still. The path is not clear for that to work. So if we're using just plain old laws of manifestation, visualization, trying to get a better outcome without taking that first couple steps so the universe can meet us where we want to be, it's not going to happen. Sad but true. We kind of have to clear the way more. Yes, and that does mean being proactive and making a choice that will have a desired effect. So if we're just choosing the option to omit of choice, choosing not to choose, we're not going to see much of an outcome. There's not much that changes. It's very minute. Okay, my lovelies, let's look at the near future. We have the Four of Wands in the reverse, the Five of Wands in the reverse, the Knight of Pentacles in the reverse, the Three of Pentacles in the reverse, and the Nine of Cups in the reverse. Yep. Okay. As much as this may not be the biggest issue, we're not free from it by any means, or at least not during the new moon in Libra. Remember, this is a span of 3 days, so you can't exactly expect a miracle of something major to change in that amount of time. I mean, if we're talking money, unless you win the Powerball, win the lottery, literally, it's not going to solve your financial issues. And if you are choosing not to choose, it means you're not planning and being proactive on it. So, of course, you're not going to have a different outcome, really. Like I said, the changes are very minute. So to see results, they're going to be longer than the span of the new moon. And of course, if you're choosing not to choose, you may not see much of a result, period, no matter how long this is for. So, Spirit, anything you have to add about the near future? Yep. We had these two cards earlier, I do believe, in our recent past, when it comes to improving our circumstances. The answer is there already with what makes us happy, how we can be happy, what we need to do in order to make things better so we can allow ourselves to be happy or those around us to be happy. It's all right there. It's just we kind of have to move everything aside and sift through the yuckity yuck in order to find it. Interesting that they're giving the exact same energy. Yes, and that takes some doing, and you're not going to see results right away. And like I keep on saying, choosing not to choose won't get you much of any result. So whatever this is for you, whether it's money problems, whether it's changing a new job, whether it's boundary issues with self, or maybe you're dealing with toxic people, you're not going to see results overnight. This is not a wham bam thank you ma'am solution. It's not going to be clear cut and dried once you make a choice that all of a sudden all your results and everything's all rainbow sunshine and unicorns. No, this is going to take more effort than that to manifest, to see it through, to have the improvement, to have things be more solidified and permanent for you to enjoy it and have it at hand. All right, my lovelies, let's jump into your advice. We have the Ace of Wands, followed by the Two of Wands, the Three of Wands, the Page of Wands, the Hermit, and the Wheel of Fortune. Ooh, I kind of like it. So yes, when we make a choice, there's that means we need to take action. We're meeting the universe halfway. Yes, focused, measured steps, progression, a new way of doing things. Yes, we're literally being urged to take the world by the reins and do something. Literally be proactive. And that's usually after looking at things and assessing what is real, what is not, what stays, what goes. We have to have that answer first before we can move and make things more in our favor, to turn things around, to create that negative into a positive, to improve our circumstances, to make sure something changes for the better. And yes, that means we have to take action. Having a non-choice is not the best thing. Not by far. Alright, Spirit, anything else you would like to add for advice? One Ring Circus. Oh my gosh. Okay. Making a choice. Rock bottom. Solitude. Not surprised we have the Hermit card. Dry desert. Intention. And strength. Yes, we have all these things going on all at once. And as much as we have certain things handled, there's things that we don't. So yay to the things that you have handled, but we've got to make choices on the areas where you don't. And that's the only way to improve them, is to choose differently, to make different choices, to react differently, to respond differently. And we have to identify those places. We have to realize what they are, know what they are, so we know what to give our energy to and what to walk away from. Whether that is persisting and not giving our energy to it, or to continue with the things that are working, that are the plates that are still spinning, rather than the ones that are wobbling so bad they're about ready to fall over on top of our head. Like I said, you have to have the answers of, okay, what is real, what is not, what stays, what goes, what is beneficial, what is not. That way you know more of where you need to move and how to move. So there's definitely more assessment that's probably needed. Because, of course, we have the Ace of Swords right here in the reverse. Yes, what choices that we have available to us, and what stays, what goes, and what choices to make on how to get things better is still muddied. Like I keep saying, you're going to have to move a lot of the muckety-muck, the yuckety-yuck, in order to get clear, to make the right choices, to make the right actions, to see an improvement, to have growth, to have progress, to see a shift. And that's what we're wanting, ultimately. That's what we're wanting. Alright, we are jumping into our environment. We have the Two of Cups in the reverse, the Ace of Cups in the reverse, the Page of Cups in the reverse, and the Queen of Pentacles in the reverse. Okay. Yeah. We're a little detached. The things that make us happy, that fulfill us, probably seem really distant, very far away. And of course, that is not helping our own emotional state. We feel the discomfort. We know it's there. We know we don't feel the greatest. We know we're maybe a little depressed. We're having killjoy moments. We're not smiling as much. We're not having the greatest of times. And because our joy seems to be absent or very distant, very far away, there's a disconnect there, it has an effect on our physical world. Whether that is, yes, we are smiling less, we are eating poorly, we are not being sociable, maybe we're having acne, or, it could be several different ways. We're not enjoying life. We're not enjoying our environment. We're having an effect on our environment, and it's because our inside projects what we see and manifest on the outside. And right now, we're disconnected from our joy, our happiness. We're not fulfilled. We're not happy with our circumstances. We're not happy with something enough that it is having a result on the physical. Whoa! And that actually went off the table. Hold on, let me find that card. Where'd it go? Okay, we have Talisman, Rock Bottom, Solitude, Dry Desert, Intention, Strength, Movement, Spirit of Place, Come Together, Stormfields, and Into the Unknown. Yeah, we might be tapping into the reserves at this point. We may be very low energy that, like I said, we might be experiencing burnout. So we're lessening the burnout. We're lessening things that steal our time, energy, money even, whatnot. So tapping more into the reserves. Granted, being centered, being grounded, going within will help us mitigate our own energy if we are leeching energy or emotional content all over the place. And it'll help us refocus, help us redirect. That way, hopefully, we can internally embody what we want despite any hiccups in the outside world. So being centered, being grounded, and reconnecting to what we need, what we want, what makes us happy, what doesn't, what is reality and what part of that stays, what is illusion and what needs to go. When we start messing with that, even things that are big question marks, because we're putting our focus onto it, start to come to the surface. But it seems like we're definitely having to pause more, get grounded, and yes, maybe even tapping into our reserves to do that. Some of us are probably really overextended. So maybe you're working lots of overtime hours and you're not getting enough money for the overtime. It's like the overtime is not making up for the money difference. So why bother doing it when you could get more rest and be less stressed and have more free time and have more overall energy and have about, the same amount of money. Interesting. But yes, tapping into your reserves, being centered, being grounded, being a little bit more precise of what you're connecting to, where your focus is going, seems to be very beneficial at this time. Not entirely surprised by that. Okay, and we are to the point where we're tackling a hope and or a fear. We'll see what comes up. We have the Three of Swords in the reverse, the Ace of Pentacles in the reverse, the Four of Swords, the Five of Swords, the Seven of Swords, the Nine of Swords, and the Ten of Swords. Okay. As much as you are hopeful to mend things, to correct things, to heal things, to make things better, and that is your hope. That is literally your hope, that it will get better from here. Why? Because you want better, you desire better, and yes, you do deserve better things. But your fear is that despite wanting that, desiring it, hoping for it, that the universe is not going to give you an opportunity, despite thinking about it, looking at it, trying to change it, that all that inner strife, all that conflict is going to run amok. It's going to steamroll. It's just going to snowball and keep on going. And it's going to be out of your control. So your fear is that you're going to lose to this situation. That there is no way to improve the situation or circumstances. There is no good option. Let's see. Hope and or a fear. And right off the table, folks. Hold on. Wishing well. Unexpected visitors. Cleaning house and moonlight. Yeah. Literally a hope. I love that it's the wishing well card. But having that wish, that dream, the desire for better, and things unexpected very much happen. And you're left trying to pick up the pieces. However that takes shape. Field of Dreams. Yeah. Yeah. You fearing that the happy outcome will not be there. It's just not coming, despite your best efforts to clean up the mess, to make organized effort out of the chaotic muckety-muck, yuckety-yuck that's been making things difficult. Whether that is, a bad boss or extra bills, energy vampires, whatever that is. That is not the most pleasant fear, because that's us kind of giving into fear and letting it overtake us. So please beware any ego moments and what it tells you. Don't let it put fear into you and make things worse, because that might actually be showing up for you. So try not to give in to that type of energy. Alright, my lovelies, we are already to our outcome. We have the Chariot in the reverse, the Strength in the reverse. We have the Six of Pentacles in the reverse, the Seven of Pentacles in the reverse, the Nine of Pentacles in the reverse, the Four of Pentacles in the reverse, the Hangman in the reverse, Justice in the reverse, Temperance in the reverse, the Page of Pentacles in the reverse, the Fool in the reverse, the High Priestess in the reverse, the Devil in the reverse, the Star in the reverse, the Knight of Wands in the reverse, the King of Cups in the reverse, the Five of Pentacles in the reverse, the Three of Cups in the reverse, the Queen of Wands in the reverse, the Eight of Swords in the reverse, and we end on the Page of Swords. Okay, oofta. That's quite a lot. That was a big mouthful. But you might feel a little defeated. And that's because for all the efforts that you're trying to put in, it doesn't seem that they are pushing through, that you're making great headway, that you're seeing a result. And you're going to be of the mindset that you've lost out, that all that energy is wasted, that you're just throwing it away. And it's because, well, your circumstances are not changing quite the way you want them to in the time frame that you're wanting them to. So beware of time constraints, because all this right here says that you have to have a rebound or a bounce back period. And that takes time. So, I mean, if you're in the negative, you have to take a while to get back to ground zero before you see a positive. And you can't expect that turnaround to happen really quickly. Don't expect miracles. Like I said, if you're having financial issues, don't expect you to end up being a millionaire unless you win the lottery in, 3 days' time. Why? Because finances don't work that way, and it takes a while to earn income, to earn money. So beware of your perspective and make sure you're not putting time constraints on things, because you're going to feel very much so that all this was for naught, and it's because it's not showing up and swinging back the other way right away. You're going to think that maybe you didn't have the right answer, that you're not haven't made the right choice, and it's because you're not seeing the result. However, you've fixed some of the limits. It's just, it's not fully healed. Like I said, there's a bounce back or a rebound period. Just like, say your issue is high cholesterol. Well, if you've been eating triple bacon cheeseburgers every day for every meal, and you have only changed that for 1 week to eat healthy, of course your cholesterol levels haven't lowered, because it's going to take more than 1 week to lower those levels, especially after years of damage. So like I said, there's a bounce back, there's a rebound period, and you're not going to see that right away. And in fact, you're going to be a little frustrated and fed up with it, thinking that you went the wrong direction, that you wasted your energy, and it was all for naught. You're going to feel like you've lost something. But the truth is you haven't. And it's just the fact that you can't see where things have shifted, where things are now supporting you. And it's because it's very slow moving. Hence why we have lots of pentacles on the table. It's very slow moving. The results are not going to be fast. But you're going to be very much inclined to feel like maybe it was a waste of a power move. It's going to be a waste of an effort. That it was a lose-lose situation and you just lost. But you've actually freed yourself, but that idea is not going to be forthcoming right away. So, like I said, beware of time constraints. Don't expect a fast result, because this is very slow moving. This is not something that you're going to see an immediate result in 3 days' time. This is something that you're going to see over a span of time of how much it improves. The rebound, the bounce back period. Yes, you got to account for that. You got to account for that. It's not going to happen overnight, and not by a long shot. So let's see what else Spirit would like to add for our outcome. Okay. This is going to take more doing than what I figured, because they have a lot they want to give you. Okay. That was quite a lot, very much so. But yes, you're going to have to learn to be centered, be grounded, to trust and have faith that things are going to work out, that everything is actually on the move, even if you don't see the results. It's putting the effort in and trusting it to happen. Because yes, things are going to fall away, things are going to fall apart, things are going to cause you to doubt, and you need to kick that right in the butt and give yourself a little bit of a pep talk and remind yourself that things are not going to happen overnight. Yes, things are going to shift, they're going to change, they're going to feel uncomfortable, they're going to be different. Things have to fall apart in order to come back together again. And you're going to have to remind yourself all these moving pieces are still going, having to resettle in a new direction. And you're going to have to be open to the energy as that shifts. So don't doubt it so much. Because once you make the right action, things will come together. They will fall into place. And yes, that will take time. But remember what you're trying to achieve and what that feels like. And stick with that while things shift and reemerge and rebalance. Because eventually, it will surpass what you've had. All that pain, all that struggle, all the things that are out of sorts. Things will rebalance. You'll get that rebound, bounce back period. And all of a sudden, you'll launch forward. And you'll leave the past behind. You'll leave the struggle behind. You'll leave the uncomfortableness behind. But you got to have faith and a little bit of some persistence on your part in the meantime of realizing a big shift, things you're working on. This is not immediate gratification. This is not going to happen overnight. And to continually put effort into it. To keep on going despite seeing no results. Putting effort in when you might feel that it is wasted, knowing that if you made the right choice, if I keep putting energy into it and I give it more time, maybe that will finally click and fall into place, and I'll get that first inkling of a result, that little light at the end of the tunnel that proves that it was worth it. Oh, okay. They're actually pointing out the light in between this, because you see the two faces with the girl on either one. They're back to back, but there is a light in the center. So as much as that's narrow like a tunnel, there is light on the other side. It's just being able to see it. And that's not going to be apparent. It's that Page of Swords. You're not going to realize that you are free, that you have removed a lot of the restrictions, a lot of the limits, a lot of the obstacles, and it's all because your results are so slow moving. It's not going to be readily apparent. So that's going to take faith. That's going to take consistent energy. Interesting. So anyone who wanted to start something new or needed to change something this month, I am so sorry if you thought this was, yeah, the one bam, thank you ma'am, that this was going to be a quick one shot and done, because it is not. And because this is a new moon in Libra, as much as that energy is for 3 days, it also doubles as a solar eclipse. And the energy for it lasts up to 6 months. So when I say you're not going to have immediate results and things are slow moving, I mean, we're probably tapping more into the eclipse energy. So you've got a 3-day window to make choices and to kick this off. But your results probably are going to be more over the span of the next couple of months to get that final result. So yes, slow moving. Pentacles. We had pentacles for a reason. Not something that is very fast moving, immediate results, that is going to bring you a lot of reassurance and certainty on things. All right, Spirit, any reminders for the collective over this new moon in Libra? Now we have Into the Unknown. And that is very much, whoa, okay. Balancing act, protecting treasure, dry desert, and flying. Yeah. Have faith that the things that you cannot see are still changing, still shifting in your favor. And yes, it takes a while for adjustments to manifest, to be noticeable. So putting energy in and still going for it, protecting that hope, that dream, that outcome that you wish without giving in to the negative will eventually have you sailing clear, because then you're not stopping yourself. You're not halting the energy. You're not doubting yourself. You're not creating more problems. You're not giving up before enough energy is put in to see a result. So beware of stopping before you've actually gotten started. And they're bringing you back to it. Not choosing is still a choice. And that is stopping before you get started. Alright, my lovelies, I hope some of this resonated for you, and if it does, by all means, give me a big thumbs up. I will list the decks in the description box down below. Please remember, this is just for the 3 days of the new moon. I will be probably doing a pick a card reading for the solar eclipse, because that energy lasts up to 6 months, so that video will last quite a bit longer than this one. Feel free to share this video anywhere online. I truly appreciate those that do. It helps the channel to grow. Feel free to shout at me in the comments section down below if you have a mind to. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you guys later. Bye.